Does the eviction ban mean I don't have to pay my rent?
This eviction moratorium is temporary. It means you don't have to pay rent while the ban is in effect, as long as you've followed the guidelines for providing your landlord with timely notice and documentation. The eviction ban protects you from being evicted from your residence or place of business. The eviction ban does not provide relief from paying rent to the landlord. You still have to pay your past due rent within the 90-day repayment period.
So I still need to pay the rent just at a later time?
That's right. Tenants are still obligated to pay their rent. You will have up to 90 days after the eviction moratorium expires to repay your past due rent.
When will the back rent that's due, the rent I haven't been able to pay, be owed to my landlord?
You will have up to 90 days after the eviction moratorium expires to repay your past due rent. Here are the current eviction ban end dates and rent repayment periods.
Should I pay partial rent during the eviction ban if I can?
If you are able to make partial payments, it is encouraged that you do so. This means you will have less past due rent to pay back later, and your landlord will be able to cover some of their costs, for example, building maintenance or property taxes. Talk to your landlord to see if they are willing to make a payment plan agreement so you can make partial rent payments while the eviction moratorium is in effect. You can find a sample payment plan agreement and other materials on Legal Aid of Marin's website.
After the eviction ban ends, do I need to start paying my full rent on time again?
Yes, you do. Once the eviction ban ends, if you pay your regular rent late, the Marin County eviction moratorium no longer protects you from an eviction. With this in mind, this table provides guidance to residential and commercial tenants. Note that commercial tenants are on a different timeline because the eviction ban for commercial tenants ended on May 31st, 2020, whereas the eviction ban for residential tenants is still in effect. It's important to note that the dates in this table reflect when a tenant should resume paying their regular rent on time. It also shows the due date to repay all the unpaid rent from the eviction ban period. Remember, you'll be paying your rent in full and on time like you used to do before the pandemic. But now, you'll also be paying back your past due rent at the same time. It's also important to remember that your landlord cannot charge a late fee for rent that was due during the eviction moratorium. This is a lot happening all at once. We encourage you to speak with your landlord about a payment plan and to get it in writing and signed by both parties.